How do I apply to elite universities in the US as an international student? In this video, I want to talk about the three main things to keep in mind when you shoot for the Ivy Leagues. Let's call it out. The Ivy Leagues are obviously the absolute, cherry on top when it comes to higher education in the US. But we can also blow it up a little bit and look at the broader picture of, let's say, the top 100 universities in the US. Obviously, in this video, I'm not going to have the time to talk about every single university, but those 3 points I'm mentioning here should give you general 80-20 guidance, what to do, how to do it, how to get it right. So let's get started. Point number one is stating the obvious. Your academic profile, that is your grades, should be outstanding. They should be at the elite level, and there are two ways to measure it. One is your local high school GPA, and the second is your ACT or SAT score. Let's stick with the SAT, the Scholastic Aptitude Test. It's the American high school graduation test. Here's the kicker. If you feel like my high school GPA in my home country has been compromised, not because I'm stupid, but because I just didn't click with some high school professors, don't give up your hopes. The SAT test is going to take another more objective look, and to give you a model, let's say your current high school GPA is here, but you managed to shoot up your SAT here, like a little higher in terms of value. The higher educational system in the US is going to take a look at your profile, sees the SAT test, and gives it more value because it's the higher education standard test in the US. So then your little bit lower high school GPA from your home country isn't worth as much just because of the trust that the US has in the SAT. Still, there's a caveat to it that should de-stress you even more. In the past years, since the start of the corona pandemic, since like 2020, 2021, you see a trend of the SAT test deteriorating a little bit in importance. Still, as you're watching this video, I recommend you do it and do it well, because you're not going to compromise your chances to get into any universities by providing them with a good test. But still, there are a lot of universities, and the number is increasing, that will still let you in, even though you don't have an SAT test or the grades are not as good. That leaves me to the two other important parameters. Because here's the thing. And many people get this wrong. When you apply to a university, to a really good university in the US, let's talk about an Ivy League. In the very end, after having submitted all your paperwork, all your good grades, your essays, your extracurriculars, etc., you're going to have to do the interview. And the interview is not going to happen you against the institution, but it will be you and another person. It will be you and the admission counselor. It will be a human being and another human being. Emotions are involved. What I mean is the following. Understand that the decision whether or not you can get in, given the circumstance that everything is perfect on paper, the final decision is still made by a person, not by a brick and mortar wall, by a university, by a person. When you understand how that person thinks, what their hobbies are, if you get to know them, if you know what the name of their sister is, where they have been on vacation. People tend to click with people, right? And we as Epro 360, the company who sponsors this channel, frequently gathers insights. Who is going to make admission policies? Who is going to make admission decisions for universities based on the policies of the university? Right? Surely there's a correlation between the values and the university, and based on the values set how a decision for admission or non-admission will be made, but still it's the person. So all I'm saying is try to understand who that person is, make them feel welcome, so make them feel appreciated. People love appreciation, And if you can get a little bit deeper, if you can get just a little bit more personal with them than all the other applicants, a little bit more warm-hearted, a little bit more interested, then your chances are boosted when another person who only shows off their good grades, if they don't pull that card, you're going to put yourself at an unfair advantage. Make use of it. As you have invested time in this video, don't let it go waste. Invest time into studying, researching that admission counselor you're going to be greeted with for the admission interview. That's point 2. Getting confused between the German and the American counting. Point 3 is your your silver lining, if you will. That is your silver lining in your past, not in your past life, in your life that led you up to here as you're watching this video, or up to the point where the university or the admission counselor is up for the decision, and what you want to accomplish after that. It has to match. So, let me give you an example. You have heard of the concept of a well-rounded student, right? Somebody who has amazing extracurriculars, volunteer involvement, voluntary work, sports successes, plays the violin or another instrument, has good grades and does a lot of stuff. Somebody, with leadership skills per se. Let's stay at that example. If the university has a focus on getting people admitted who have proven leadership skills in the past, and you've done a lot of things, and also leadership skills, I don't know, you've been elected to some president of a club, show that what you have done in the past will resonate with the admission counselor, because it's what the university would like to see from you in the 4 years when you study there. So understand it this way. If you're here now and you're approaching that interview at the elite university, and this is where the education continues, the university already knows how they have outlined that education. They know what to expect of students to get from here to graduation, which is what the university wants. So when they see you coming from here, going there, you're not gonna up your chances to get admitted, because the university wants you to go from here to here. So just have that silver lining, go from where you are to the admission counselor, to the admission decision, through and make it sound coherent, so that you are the perfect match of somebody who graduates at that university, if this makes sense. You have to do a little bit of self-reflection, and again, if you have a lot of stuff in your CV, if you have a plethora of choices, not saying to brag, but to sell yourself, hone in on the things that the university wants to hear, so they have a wow effect. So that if they see you, Paul or Paula, whoever is watching, they feel like, wow, you're one of us, you're in. I hope that helped. If you feel like the video has gotten you just a step further in your understanding how to apply, give this video a thumbs up. To understand all the other ins and outs about American education, how to study in the US as an international student, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. We're going to be releasing content weekly, as you know, if you are following us for a while. Below this video, you can comment any questions you have, or if you want to get real personal, use the link below the video where we currently offer first free consultations on the phone. We're going to get to know you a little bit, ask you some questions, and find out whether you are a fit that we can help you get to the US. And in general, the big topic of finances will be covered in that first call as well. You're going to get a personalized, comprehensive report whether you can even allow yourself or your family to pay for an elite education in the US. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Stay tuned. All the best, and bye for now.